Choosing a sparring partner is a little bit like choosing a sex partner. It should be somebody you really trust. You should always wear protection, and you shouldn't put videos of it on the internet unless you've cleared it with the other person first. Have you ever been forced to roll or spar with somebody who had 20, 50, or maybe even 100 pounds on you? Or have you ever felt kind of nervous because you had to go with someone who was newer or younger or maybe kind of a spaz? Well, let me answer those questions for you, because the answer is no. You never had to do any of that. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize when they're choosing their partners in the gym. I'm Mike, and this is Hard to Hurt, a channel dedicated to fitness and self-defense, where we cover concepts and principles that make you hard to hurt. I want you to be very picky about your training partners. Now, this is going to rustle a lot of jimmies. A lot of people are going to have a problem with it. There's going to be people that say, oh, well, you never know who you're going to have to meet. Yes, I do know who I'm going to have to meet. I'm never going to roll with a 300-pound white belt. I'm not going to do it in class because I'm never going to do it in a tournament. I won't have to grapple that guy in an MMA fight. And for all you reality-based self-defense nerds out there who are like, there's no weight classes in the street. First of all, you're not in the street, you're on the internet. And second of all, there are weight classes in the street, because there's a weight class of guys that can catch me, and there's a weight class of guys that can't. Now, if a 300-pound white belt somehow gets his big ass up into the rafters and gets the drop on me and falls on me and flattens me like a pancake, I wasn't going to shrimp out of that shit anyway, so that's not going to be a good use of my training time. This particularly applies to beginners. If you're a new guy, you can give away some size and strength to a more experienced guy, a purple belt or a brown belt, or maybe a guy who has a couple amateur or professional fights. Those guys generally have enough control and sensitivity that they can kind of dial it back a little. But even then, you'll find guys at that level who don't have multiple settings as far as their output goes. It's probably going to be a beginner that hurts you. The worst acute training injury I've ever had was a guy who knocked me out and broke my nose 3 days before a fight, which I know, but that's a separate video. And this was a guy who kind of set off some alarms. Right before the round starts, he tells me, don't worry, man, I suck. And I thought, well, shit, that's not good either. Sparring with someone that inexperienced is like playing your little brother at Street Fighter, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and he's just mashing buttons, and he's just jumping backwards and hitting light kick over and over again, but you don't know how to deal with that because no one fucking does that. So the round starts, and basically this guy just starts jumping backwards and hitting light kick over and over again. He was jumping back and doing these little flicky taekwondo type kicks, and I was walking him down. He was going light, I was going light, everything was fine. And then the 30-second warning went off, and of course he turned and looked because he doesn't know that that's the 30-second warning. And when he looked back at me, I said, come on, let's go. I dropped my hand for an uppercut, and he swung a full force spinning back fist that broke my nose in 3 places and knocked me out for a second. Now, ultimately, that's my fault. I chose to spar with that guy, even though I kind of felt like I shouldn't, and I was the one who decided to put my hands down. That's on me. But it could have been avoided. If a guy has ever hurt you before in sparring, rolling, or even drilling, because there's guys out there that can't do that right, don't ever go with him again. You could try asking him to go light, but chances are he's not self-aware enough to do that, because if he was, he wouldn't have hurt you in the first place. Just say no. If you're not a dickhead like me, you could try politely declining. If the guy's like, hey, do you wanna go? And you could just be like, no, I gotta go to the bathroom, or I got this ringworm on my chin, or I was supposed to spar with literally anybody else except for you. Next. You can politely decline. Now, this is an easier sell to combat athletes who are competing inside weight classes, but this is a harder sell for people who are interested in self-defense. You have to strike a balance between realism and safety. As your training becomes more realistic, your chance of injury increases. Now, this can be mitigated with experience and skill, but sparring and rolling with another person is an inherently risky activity. I believe part of the reason I've had so many spinal injuries is because I'm getting constantly stacked and smashed by people who are bigger than me. I have it really rough because everybody's bigger than me, but now that I've gotten a little older, I'm picky about my partners, and I only go with people that I trust. So what do you do if you go back to your gym or your dojo or whatever, and your coach has a problem with the things I said in this video? You just send that motherfucker my way, and I will be glad to politely decline to roll or spar with him too. If you want more fitness tips, self-defense, gear reviews, as well as concepts and principles that make you hard to hurt, make sure you click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click that button down there to subscribe. It won't impact your life at all, and it makes a big difference in mine, so you're kind of a piece of shit if you don't do it. Also, we'll put some more videos up over here. This is shit I think you should watch. So click that one, then click one of those, and then just keep doing that forever. Thanks a lot.